everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cody Delaney and this is Queeniepaints. Today we're going to talk about a subject that I am truly passionate about. I'm going to go over 5 reasons why people just don't want to buy your artwork. So I've been an artist in the game for the last 5 years. Since I graduated high school, I've been trying to be a professional artist ever since then. And so all of these things are also things that I have done wrong in the past, and it really crippled me in being able to sell my artwork. People just didn't want my artwork, and I kept thinking, why? Why don't people want to buy my artwork? And then I married a marketing major, and now I know exactly why people didn't want to buy my artwork. So without further ado, let's go to number 1. Your presentation and professionalism. This is something that I see in a lot of new artists and also artists who have been in the field for a really long time, especially student artists. They do this all the time, and it's that they are putting up artwork on the walls of coffee shops. They're trying to give their artwork to galleries, and they haven't really done it in a professional way. They don't have a mat on a drawing, they don't have it framed correctly, there's no glass on it. It just gives that unfinished, unprofessional look. And so when people see your art on that wall, they don't want to buy it because it looks bad on the wall. So of course it's going to look bad on their walls at home. When people are buying art, it's because they're buying it to put on their walls. They want to display it. So if you're not displaying it in a way that is making it look its best, then it's going to be pretty hard to sell it. The other thing that I see a lot is that people have really unprofessional websites. So it's basically just you have like really bad pictures of your art, or you're trying to sell on a website that has like dark backgrounds and like doesn't highlight your art very well, right? And so when your website doesn't look good, your artwork doesn't look good hanging on walls, you're not gonna get very many sales. Number 2, the quality of your work isn't very good. So again, I see this happen all the time, and this isn't to bum you out. This is just a hint, it's a trick. Some people just don't want to buy your artwork because you're not good enough to start selling it yet. But this is a trap that I fell into when I first got out of high school and I was trying to sell my art professionally. I was trying to be a professional artist. I just didn't have the technical skill or the education yet to start selling my artwork. My artwork was pretty mediocre at that point. I needed to hone my skills, I needed to learn a little bit more about my craft, and I needed to have the patience in order to do that. And that doesn't mean that I didn't stop trying to sell my artwork. It just gave me perspective on why nobody was wanting to buy my artwork. Look, if art was easy, we'd all be making money. Number 3. You lack a distinct style or uniqueness to your artwork. This is something that a lot of people don't think about, but when you start thinking about it, it makes a lot of sense. Artists who do really well in the industry always have a unique style. Think about your favorite artist right now. For me, it's Michael Carson. If you look at Michael Carson's paintings, they all look similar. They all have a very distinct style to them. You'd be able to look at them in a museum and say, hey, that looks a lot like Michael Carson. And so because of that, people want to buy your work, especially galleries, especially museums. If that's what you're going for as a professional artist, they're going to want to buy your artwork. There is a very different style to a professional portfolio than a student portfolio. And that's something that a lot of colleges don't really teach you very well. Number 4. There's just no market for what you're doing. So this one is actually one that I learned when I married my husband, and it's about markets and how there are oversaturated markets and undersaturated markets. And sometimes you just are in an undersaturated market, but then there's nobody there or very few people there that are going to be buying your work. You have like 1 or 2 sales per year, and then after that, really, there's nothing else. You're making art that not a whole lot of people want. This is about Eurocentrism and how we care more about the churches than we do the environment. And it's also pretty. It also looks really nice on a wall. I got the best of both worlds. This is what I've been doing. So you need to think about not only your concept, but the market that's out there that's going to be buying this concept, that's going to be buying your artwork. And if you can't find a market for it, then it's not going to sell. So if you're looking to make money with your artwork, you can absolutely make the paintings, the drawings, the sculptures, whatever you want. But also keep in mind that if you don't squeeze in a little bit of the market value in there, then you're not going to sell very well. Right, and finally, number 5. The price of your artwork is too high and doesn't make any sense. I also see this mistake all the time. You can walk into coffee shops and see people making this mistake. You can walk into galleries and see people making this mistake. And it's that you don't have the value as an artist to sell your work for as much as you're selling it for. A lot of people, they go into these prestigious galleries or museums, they see other artists who are presenting their work in a way and marketing their work in a way that makes it really valuable. And they're selling that art for thousands and thousands of dollars. Literally, I have seen somebody put their work in like a little dingy coffee shop and try to sell it for $600. Do you really think that people going to this dingy little coffee shop in your small town have $600 to spend to buy that piece? They don't. We're all poor. And so that's a huge mistake that happens where people are just trying to sell their pieces for way too much. Professional artists are selling their pieces for that much because they already have the name recognition. They've done all the work at the very beginning to try to get that name recognition. And because they have that name recognition, they have that unique style to them, their work is selling for more. You have to think about who is going to the area that you're presenting your artwork in. You're going to be able to get a little bit more money out of a gallery presentation than you are at a coffee shop presentation. The biggest thing that I recommend is selling prints. So prints are really cheap to make. Really cheap. Sunrose gets our prints made by a local print shop in Fort Collins, and we get them made for like 80 cents. So we're able to sell them for like 10 bucks sometimes at conventions and still make a lot of overhead on them. And that's something that you can think of for yourself. You get a scan, you get a really good picture of your piece, and you make prints of it, and you sell those prints for like $10 to $15. You get all of that overhead value for that. But people will be able to afford a print way more than they are going to be able to afford like a $300 to $400 original piece. I hope everybody got a little bit of something from this. I really hope that this is good advice for people. I know that this was really good advice for me when I was starting to become a little bit more professional with my artwork. All of these are mistakes that I made too. And I really want other artists to avoid making these mistakes because I just want everybody who watches this video, everybody who subscribes to this channel to succeed in what they're doing. So thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and click that like button down below and also the subscribe button if you really like my videos and want to support this channel. Alright y'all, have a wonderful rest of your week.